Yeah, I wanted to do this video about some of the concerns um, a lot of black men have had. And this video I was inspired to do by looking at. I saw a video by Black Man's Kryptonite in which he was talking about how there are many black men going to Brazil and how they're going to the Brazil to look for other types of women. And I've said that, black women today need to humble themselves. I know for me, one of my main concerns for really not dealing with black women is the importance of my child. Um, I think black men are becoming aware, and I think it's extremely important to note that when you have a child with a black woman, when you have your seed, someone, whether it be a little boy or a little girl, that is part of you, you need to understand that that black woman lacks really any ability to nurture. Um, by default, your black child will be tainted with treacherous, hoodish behavior by I would say most black women. They're going to be taught to be conniving. They're going to be taught to um, use race in every instance when they don't get their way. They're going to be taught those things because most black women do not know how to raise a child. And you may ask, where's your proof on that? And I would say, look to mostly, look at all inner city USAs. Who is it that's out here causing all the strife and all the violence? I mean, one can easily pick the low hanging fruit and say, well, there's no father in the home. And yes, while you're well within your right to do that, nevertheless, who is raising these children that are killing each other, who are killing others, who are responsible for most of the metropolitan city's crime? It is the black woman who has um, dropped the ball on that one. So that myself was very important to me. Dealing with black women, black girls all my life, I knew from a very early age that I didn't really want to have a child with them. And when I had sexual affairs with black women, I made sure not to impregnate them or any things of that nature. I never wanted that, and I just didn't want the stigma that comes with uh, black women and dealing with them and their inability to raise children. And I think a lot of black men who really want families and who really want to settle down first have to come to the understanding that you must first find that woman who knows how to nurture. And I think that most women, non-black women, who have a little bit of culture, especially when you look at Hispanic and Asian women and other types of women that come from cultures where that there are a father and a mother in the household, understand what it's like and the importance of raising a child to be nurtured, to be loving, to be respectful, common decency, which many, if you look at, a lot of blacks do not have common decency and respect. Um, this is why I say blacks, the one critical component that blacks lack is conflict resolution. A black person will, will I mean, look you dead in the face and lie to you and treat you any kind of way. And this is why, outside of black women, I rarely like to deal with black people in general. I do have black friends and associates, but I've carefully screened them and they're most of like-mindedness with myself. And I'm not anti-black. I'm just anti-niggerdom. And most blacks have a very niggerish, low frequency mentality. All right, and for that reason, I say I didn't want to deal with black women. I've seen how black women have treated black men that have unfortunately had children with these black women, and they go through hell. They go through hell dealing with these black women, and they have to see the lack of morals, the lack of restraint and resolve that black women have transferred to their sons and daughters. You know, and it's sad. Okay, I would much rather put my bank on having a child. You know, I'm married now, but I would tell black men, I mean, deal with a woman who has an understanding of nurturing your children. Don't give your seed to a woman who, just for the sake that she's black, who's going to perpetuate the system, that's going to perpetuate that cycle, man, of violence and ignorance. And this is what you do when you have children with low-level black women. Give your seed to a woman who knows if something were to happen to you, you know your child's going to be in good hands, because she's going to be, or your child, he or she's going to be around a certain culture that will promote respect and decency. If you have a child with a black woman and something happens to you, you know she's going to be, or he's going to be raised in that same niggerish victim mentality that permeates in the so-called black community. And I'm thankful that I had black examples that, for lack of a better word, just told me, schooled me about how black folks are, and how diabolical and treacherous we can be. And then my dealings, my experience, I made a conscious decision that, yeah, I can talk to black women, I can hold a conversation with black women, but I just wouldn't want to have children with you. I wouldn't want to marry you, because I know deep down how black women are, how treacherous, how bipolar, some of the behavior problems that they have, some of the conniving and schemish and scandalous ways in which they operate. And I damn sure didn't want my seed to be brought up in that and to further that stereotype, which unfortunately is very true.